Could we see the return of Martinez, Eriksen, Casemiro, Shaw, Ahmad, and Anthony against Spurs? Erik ten Hag has confirmed it in his press conference ahead of the Spurs game. And I'll tell you what, that's reason to get excited. What I'm going to do in this video is run through my starting 11 prediction, which is going to be extremely hard, given that all these players are maybe returning to the squad. What I'm going to do is run through Ten Hag's press conference, all the main quotes from it, then run through the starting 11 and my team to face Spurs. It's going to be a big game this weekend. United could really do with the result. A 2-0 win against Wigan. That's in the FA Cup, though. The Premier League is where it matters this season, now that we've ballsed up Europe. You can let me know what you think in the comments. What's your starting 11 predictions and your match prediction? Get down below, leave a comment, and drop a like in the video whilst you're there. But look, after a season where we've been ravaged by injuries, we're not the only one. Spurs have been ravaged by injuries. Newcastle have been ravaged by injuries. A lot of the top 8, man, the whole Premier League really this season, there's been injuries galore. But Martinez returning, that's been the biggest difference maker. It's bad how much we've relied on him, both from an aggressive defending perspective, but also in how he brings it out from the back. Just everything about his game, we haven't been able to replace. Casemiro, Martinez and Shaw were 3 of the cornerstones for last season. And none of them have really been present this season. Now getting Eriksen back fit and available after he was ill this week. Anthony's available and Ahmad's available. It's just good injury news galore. And I tell you what, United fans, we deserve a little bit of that. We deserve a little bit of that. But just as water is wet, Anthony Martial is not fit. Imagine my surprise. Now, I've checked out the Martial FC and I don't think anybody can surely be there. Would he? I don't know. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? Just Martial surprised me at some point in the season. Now, I thought this was an interesting quote from Erik ten Hag. Speaking about, there's no doubt that what's gone on with Anthony off the field has affected his performances. Will he start? He's not in my starting 11. And look, he commented on Jadon Sancho, wished him luck, and that is pretty much the end of it. Now, this was the starting 11 that faced Wigan during the week. And what I want to run through quickly before I take a look at this team and what I think we'll do, I want to take a look at Spurs and what they do, because I think this pretty much determines what team we play with. These are the last 3 games from Spurs: against Burnley, against Bournemouth, and against Brighton. Brighton was where they lost. And look at how high the positions of their 2 centre-backs are. Here, right? What was on the halfway line against Burnley? Slightly deeper against Bournemouth. In between against Brighton, despite the fact they lost 4-2. Spurs are going to play with a high line, all right? So I think that determines what team Erik ten Hag plays. Now, this was the team that faced Wigan. It was a comfortable 2-0 win. It should have been more, had we been more clinical in front of goal. If the problem isn't chance creation this season, it's then chance finishing. And it's just, at some point, it has to click. We have to get the chance creation and the finishing at the same time. I hope that happens against Spurs. It's going to be a tough game. One player I think that will start this game is Andre Onana. Now, there's been a mixed reaction from United fans with him not going to AFCON and making himself available. Because we want players to want to play for United, because it makes a difference. That last 5-10%, if they really do want to play for the club, it makes a difference in those moments. I thought Onana made a cracking save against Wigan. That's all he had to do. If Onana puts in a stonker of a performance against Spurs, nobody's going to question Ten Hag not playing Bayern or anything like that. But it's all down to Onana. He's put that pressure on himself by being here, right? Now, I've been waiting a long time to pull up a photo like this. Luke Shaw and Martinez, both of them missing together, has made us so ineffective at playing out from the back with the ball. Not that we were incredible with them, by the way. But the reason that we signed this goalkeeper was so that we became more proficient with it. But just like last season, we had the last season with the left back and the left centre back who were capable of playing out from the back with the ball. We had a goalkeeper who wasn't, and then all of a sudden we got a goalkeeper who is, and then all of a sudden we've got a left back and a left centre back who aren't. And it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's really annoying. I can't wait until they're all completely fully fit and all playing together. But do I think that Martinez and Shaw return to the starting 11? I don't think they do. I think Evans has been playing pretty well. Which one would you risk? Because in my opinion, you kind of got to choose. If he's fully fit, then Martinez comes in. This one's a really tough one to call, and only Erik ten Hag will know the true fitness of it. But if they are both fully fit, I think that Martinez comes in and Shaw will come off the bench. And I think he'll stick with Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, but Wan-Bissaka's been playing poor, man. Dalot's been playing all right, but I think with Diogo Dalot, right, do you know what it is? I've said this in another video, he's very reflective of United. He's capable of a great game, and then the next game just switches off. Just going up and down, up and down. Not consistent enough. But I think I would put Martinez in there. If he's fit. Only if he's fit. And I won't know that, and you won't know that. In terms of the midfield, Kobbie Mainoo's just a starter for Manchester United now. I don't think that's putting too much pressure on his shoulders. I think it's just the reality of the talent that we have on our hands. And Man United are now going to be playing once a week from here until the end of the season. Right? That's what happens when you get knocked out of Europe. So it's not a case of overplaying. It's not a case of overexposing. It's a case of playing your best players in their best positions. And that is why Kobbie Mainoo absolutely keeps his spot in this team. Now, going back to what Erik ten Hag is saying about maybe Casemiro being fit, again, if Casemiro's fully fit, you 100% start him in that midfield alongside Kobbie Mainoo. But we don't know how completely fit he's going to be. And I think Erik ten Hag, I've kind of half changing my mind here. Which one? Because Erik ten Hag brought Shaw back from injury, played a few games, and then went out with another injury. And then Martinez had an injury, had surgery, came back, and then went out again because he came back to... And then Casemiro's had a muscular injury. So it's really hard to determine as a fan which of those are going to be fit. If anybody gets his starting 11 right, I'll be absolutely amazed. I would love to see that. I think Casemiro sitting deeper. This is the midfield that I've been wanting to see for a while. Casemiro sitting slightly deeper, occupying these positions here, right? Just kind of screening left and right, and occasionally coming forward like that, but not really. Not to just marshal that area of the pitch. Have the positional discipline. And then Kobbie Mainoo can be the number 6, number 8 hybrid, and that's going to be the most physically taxing role of the three in midfield. Really going back, and Spurs are going to be without Sarr. They're going to be without Bissouma. They're going to have Bentancur. I'm not sure who else plays in midfield with them, but they're not going to be at full strength in midfield. The game's going to move fast. The game will be intense. Spurs will play with a high line. They will press us. I would like to see that, and then Kobbie Mainoo is then allowed to go forward a little bit more in that hybrid role between the number 6 and the number 8. That's what I would like to see in midfield. I just don't know whether he's going to be fit, because I don't want to see Scott McTominay. Right? I want to pull this chart up here because people seem to still be thinking I've got some sort of mad agenda against McTominay. Not all United fans, but some United fans do. Now, this chart here, the lower the number, the worse the ball progression has been from that player. And to explain those stats in a little bit more detail, it's here. Progression effectiveness is calculated as fields gained via pass and carry per possession loss. It's really hard to read stats out. The metric features players who move the ball forward and at the same time don't give possession away often. And the higher the number, the more effective that player is. Jeez, get the right thing, Sam. Scott McTominay, for all the wrong reasons, stands out. Scott McTominay does not progress that ball forwards. Scott McTominay should not be starting for Manchester United in this midfield setup. He should be coming on when we need him to. And he has the ability to change games from that position. And that is why I would start Bruno Fernandes in that role. And what I want to see in this game, particularly from Bruno Fernandes and Manchester United, right? Because as much as I want Bruno Fernandes to start, and I think the front three picks itself. Rashford, Garnacho, and Højlund, right? I think all of those three should start. But I think the difference maker for me against Spurs is going to be Bruno Fernandes, because Spurs will play with that high line. They will go aggressive. So Bruno is probably going to find himself in positions like this quite often. Say United are sitting deep here. Roughly inside that shape. Say we win the ball back and we're going to be here. Højlund will be just waiting here. Garnacho will be waiting there. And Bruno should be able to, because of how high this Spurs line is going to play, he should be able to find those balls in behind there. Maybe even a nice through ball to Højlund and out wide to Garnacho. Our front three, they might not be incredibly effective this season. All right, Rashford's got a goal and 2 assists in his last 3 games, but still he's not been particularly effective. I mean, he's contributing, but I mean, his overall performances still are not at the level of last season. It takes ages to move these players back in position. There you go. That's the 11 I want to see. And I want to see Bruno being the link man, finding those balls in behind. For me, that's going to be the difference maker in this game. A Spurs team, as I showed earlier, who play with that ridiculously high line. And it works for them, and it's a big contributor as to why they're such a dangerous team. But it gives Bruno and our front three real opportunities. Be smart. Look at the offside line. Don't get caught by the trap. And if we do that, we'll get in behind plenty. Whether or not we take those chances, that remains to be seen. But that will be my starting 11, I think. Martinez, I wouldn't risk Dalot. No, I wouldn't risk Shaw in this game. But we might see Martinez, Shaw, and Casemiro all start this game if they are completely fit. And what a difference that will make to the feeling. Will it make a difference to the performance? If they're fully fit, it absolutely should. What's my prediction for this game? Spurs could have Dragusin in making his debut. They could have Timo Werner in for his debut, but they're missing Son, they're missing Sarr, they're missing Basuma, they're missing Van der Ven might be back as well. Oh, it's really, really hard to predict this one, I'll be totally honest. I think I might go for a real tight 2-1 United. You know, that sort of result where you don't quite know. But if that is our starting 11 and we see Martinez and Varane playing together again, maybe Shaw's going to be fit enough to start. Look, best case scenario, everybody's fit to start. Then that right there, ladies and gents, is arguably the strongest 11 that we've got in this squad. In fact, I think it is. And there is a potential for that to start against Spurs. I don't personally think we'll see Casemiro, Shaw, and Martinez all come back from injury in the same game, but we don't know how fit they are. My predictions are a tight 2-1 win. Spurs are going to be dangerous, but because of their start of play, if we're smart about it, we can really exploit those opportunities. It just depends whether we actually find our finishing boots. You let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. I'm nervous about it, but should be a cracker. You let me know what you think.